Hello, Alexandria. Welcome in. So glad you had some time to join me tonight. I thought it might be nice to try something a little different. I'm not too familiar with this game, so it's going to be fun. I hope so too. It's got quite a bit of customization for the character. I think that's pretty cool.
There must be a way to spring this trap safely.
A whetstone. Quite you.
What could that have done?
Careful!
Perhaps I can detonate.
A whetstone wheel. Now, what do I have that needs shot?
I think that's a good start. Oh, I like that. I like that hair a little bit better. Lots of different classes. And then you can just customize your class as you want. We'll make him a far out man. That'll allow his spells to be further away. Let's make him a pet pal as well so that we can talk to animals. All right, I think we're good. Let's see what this game is all about.
In the days of old, the sorcerers of Riverlong cured the sick and healed the wounded through a great power called Source. But a terrible darkness invaded the land, and Source was forever tainted. The sorcerers who once healed now only destroy, and madness has overtaken them. A few brave Source hunters are all that stand between Riverlon and the dark power that threatens to destroy it. Wherever Source appears, hunters follow.
Rise and shine, Master Source Hunters. The captain wants you up on deck. Hear them gulls? Means we're close to shore. I don't envy you going there, Master Source Hunters. City's full of undead, hungry enough for blood. But you're supposed to investigate that murder, ain't you? They say it's Source that did the Counselor in. Source in a city like Sicil, nowhere safe anymore. Here they are, Captain Sir.
God's blessings on you, hunters. You'll be happy to hear we've reached Sicil. But there's trouble offshore, so we'll have to sail in carefully. Here, have a look. Those are orc ships, and they're blocking our passage. We'll get you as close to the city as we can, and drop you off on the beach. Be wary now. Orcs are on the attack. Undead have closed every route out, and there's a sorcerer on the loose. If we're to get justice for the Counselor, you'll have to keep your wits about you. May the luck of the gods be with you both, Source Hunters.
All right. So that was an interesting scene. Seems like we have a murder to investigate. We can scroll in, scroll out. Oh, rotate. Okay. Let's see if we can make our way to town.
If I didn't know there were orc ships raiding to the west, I'd mistake this for a placid beach.
At least the orcs make a bit of noise when they attack. It's dark-dealing sorcerers that'll strike with neither warning nor mercy.
Don't know what these shells are for, but I see something and I want to pick it up. Now this is a turn-based combat system from what I understand. Oh, what happened here?
What's it doing here alone?
What, did you expect it to have an entourage?
Rejoice, for the statues have granted my wish. Their whimsical nature, however, must not be taken lightly. So before I soar through the sky like an eagle, I shall attempt a mere hop from the cliffs down at the beach. This should be a small feat for the man that can fly. If this experiment is successful, the sun shall be my next target.
Can you believe this? The man jumped off a cliff at the behest of some statues, of all things.
What do you think? 1 or 2?
Pure madness. How could someone be so utterly naive?
Do we agree, or do we say that Rivellon is no stranger to the supernatural? 1 or 2?
Agreed. Call me skeptical, but a little proof goes a long way for the rational mind.
Now what this has taught us is dialogue choices in this game and actions that we do will give us affinity towards different things, such as pragmatic. And as we progress, those will show up here on our character sheet. The traits give us abilities to our character. Depending on which way we lean. So no decision is light in this game. I have not played the Quarry. What is it about?
Source hunters, how did they find us?
Take the stone to the temple. These webs will be easy to crush.
As you say, Madam Cleric.
Arise, fair dead. Seize upon our enemies.
Okay, so we have our first combat situation.
Its own deliverance.
Your courage burns to ash beneath this pure blaze.
On guard.
Oh my, that does sound like an interesting game.
Assault from the air.
Your grave
And that battle
to welcome
is done.
Their leader said something about escaping with a stone.
Stolen from this dungeon, I imagine. Can we get inside?
Those thieves were more than petty criminals. Their leader gave life to the dead. What stone could they have been so keen on taking?
Oh, a decision to make. We do have orders to proceed to Seal, but a dungeon to explore? Perhaps they left by some treasure. What do we think? Kind of reminds me of the old Choose Your Adventure books. I say we explore the dungeon.
Indeed. For all we know, these dark-dealing thieves may be involved with Councillor Jake's murder.
I guess I should have taken a little lock picking. I wonder. Well, that's one way to open it up. I guess I did bring a key. What to do here? Barrels and crates all in the way. Yeah. There we go.
Careful, there's a mine in the middle of our path.
Someone must have an interest in protecting whatever's kept it.
Has anyone ever told you you're as pretty as a starstone? I may not be able to see past your ankles, but I'm sure of it.
We can indeed. We can smash them, and we just threw that barrel onto that mine. Ooh, a chest key. I just picked up the whole chest.
I've always heard there's typically more...
I don't know much, but I do know this. Wherever black robes tread, chaos follows.
I like that voice. Gravekeeper Rakagwin. Tend the graves in the antechamber before moving into the inner rooms. To proceed, stand very close to the impressed door and press the button that appears on its right-hand side. Yeah, I've not been impressed with the new Resident Evil game. It just didn't appeal to me. Oh my. This chest is going to take a little bit more breaking. Oh, lockpicks. Ha! We'll equip those. Oh, that spider web. Look at that spider web. Isn't that nice? Just realized I could have been healing myself.
I needed that.
Well, what's this I've spotted? Made short work of that door. I don't imagine our weapons would survive such use for long.
Oh, look at that. I didn't see the spider. Now, to get past this fire, we have some options. We did pick up a fire resistance potion. But I think a spell is in order.
Nurtures our land.
I feel like I've just had a long bath in a cold lake.
Whoever thought they would see rain inside of a dungeon? And lightning.
Oh, how nice to meet your acquaintance. We rats may be small, but that makes it all the easier to keep our ears to the ground. Friendly-wise, I'd say we rodents are the best friends an adventurer can make.
So there are just so many different ways that you can approach puzzles.
Must be some way to open this.
So you can do all kinds of different things to the environment with the elemental magics. Here's another one. This is going to be fun. What happens to poison when you put a little fire into it?
It never rains, but it pours, eh?
It's one way to get rid of poison. Right. Did we find everything in here? Nope, we didn't get these barrels. Go ahead and turn these torches on. Some more lockpicks. It's really something. This is unique that you can play in so many different ways. Oh dear.
What's this? I found something.
So it looks like we have a trigger mechanism here in the middle.
I've spotted something.
Oh, and another mine here. Okay. So let's try putting this barrel. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's try putting this barrel onto that. Ah ha ha! Okay, so that shut that one off.
What's this? I found something.
Okay. There we go. There's a first wand. I want to equip that. So this wand gives us a new special attack, Head Vice. We can use it 3 times. Get your magical claws out. Okay.
I think I hear voices downstairs.
The last thing we need is to surprise another angry summoner.
Well, let's go into sneaking mode then.
Something isn't right here. It could be an ambush.
How about we toss a grenade?
Fool! You've made a mess of an ancient tomb!
Spirit of show your strength.
A burned mummy turned into charcoal. Yeah.
This seems to be broken. This seems to be broken.
So there is also a lot of crafting in this game, which is another reason why we're picking up all these items and materials. Because you never know what you can turn it into. Looks like there's another pressure plate in there. There.
A living rat dares disturb the slumber of the dead? A thieving fool insults the sanctity of the grave. The bloodstone defiler, where is it?
Well, who are you?
In life, I toil to care for these holy grounds. In death, I protect them from profaners and poachers. The legacy of Cecile is mine to preserve. Her traitors are mine to destroy.
Well, we did meet a trio of strange cult-like figures before the entrance of this tomb. Do you think Ragequin will believe us if we tell him? Or do we feign ignorance of the Bloodstone? Or do we just try to take our leave? 1, 2, or 3? We could be honest. Maybe he'll listen.
Strange indeed. Robed indeed. Your tricks will not save you from retribution, deceiver. The Bloodstone, deliver it now, and I may deign to end you quickly.
Well, we did try. I guess we could feign ignorance of the Bloodstone.
I suppose you only crept among these sacred tombs for leisure. I suppose you had no lust for the treasure of the dead. Ha!
Well, you know, we did give it the good old college try.
Run if you like, Defiler. Whichever way you take leads you to the grave.
Oh, I just noticed we have a holy hand grenade. We got 2 archers and him.
Meet your demise.
Now, I don't think this will have the same effect, because he's not standing in water like they are. Because if he would have been standing in water, that probably would have affected her. And we don't want that. But I tell you what, let's try this. It's a nice healing spell. Well, I was actually expecting that to damage him. Not heal him.
You were right there.
Note to self, do not cast healing spell on the undead.
Death never dies, fool. Death in 1,000 forms rules all.
We gotta fight him again?
These holy rays illuminate your cowardice.
Well, there we go. All right. Anything else to explore? We did pick up another wand, I think. Yes. I think dual wielding wands is a good thing. But Nicevin needs healed. Oh. Well, we came out at a different spot. Okay, that's where we came from, looks like. Okay. I'm reoriented. Well, that's not ominous. A waypoint shrine. Oh, more shells. I don't know that I can use these for anything. FX unknown. Yeah. Oh, what's this?
Look! A wanderer comes my way, walking the sands upon which this poor shell must suffer.
Ishmashel. Well, do we talk to the shell? I mean, why not, right? In for a penny, in for a pound?
For me, Ishmashel, son of the sea, an outcast upon these wretched shores. An exiled shell, doomed to live under a canopy of arid sky, not his mated, tender water.
Well, it seems strange that you can talk.
Of course I can talk. Don't be silly. There's more tongue to me than heart. Indeed, the surprise should be mine. For I still remember the days when your kind swung from branches and plucked the vermin out of their nameless fur. Oh.
You don't seem to remember the past very fondly.
Time is an indulgent mistress to one who spends happy hours as she passes. But when your existence is one of misery, she becomes a lethargic hum. Oh, I remember ancient times. I have lain here since antiquity, when the ruins around us were palaces, and the sun-bleached dead merry children. All this I have seen, alive, alone, alas.
But you said that you were doomed.
My fate is a cruel one, I assure you. How many snot-noses have held me up against their dirty little ears, only to claim they can hear the ocean? Of course they could hear her, the rats. We are on the very edge of the great aquatic mother, whose embrace I so desperately long for.
So it's the sea's embrace that you long for.
Yes, yes, I, King of Pearls, aim to repose anew on his coral throne. Hurl me toward the water, swing as far as your arm's strength gives peace, and treasure long sunk I will grant thee.
Well, I guess I should decide what to do with you.
What do you say, kind knight? Will you return the King of Pearls to the sea, so he may yield you long lost treasure?
We have an option. He says he'll give us treasure if we throw him into the sea. But we could also just carry him into a local merchant and maybe get some coin. He is the King of Pearls. But kindness is its own reward. What do you think? Shall we throw them back into the sea? 1 or 2? I must say, they did a good job on the ambience, the sounds of the ocean. This is a tough choice. There is a promise of treasure. He does look rather heavy, though. Do we really want to carry him to town? And that's the thing, right? We would probably hear him talking the entire time. You know, his voice kind of reminded me of Nervous Elk. We'll throw him in.
Agreed. Let's send
Well, look at that. He did send out a treasure chest. Ooh. A mermaid's kiss. And 13 gold. Well, I think Nicefin can wear that. That'll give her some more hit points and some water resistance, since I like to throw a lot of water. Now, what did we come to this idyllic beach for? We got a little sidetracked. Seems a lot of ships have gotten wrecked here along this coast. Ooh, what's this?
Hold it right there, orc scum! No one slips past the Legion unchallenged.
I guess we need to keep a lookout for mounds of sand that we can dig.
Calm down, Junius. Doesn't look like one of them orcs to me. Not a single ord in sight, you know.
Just hold your tongue, will you, Bibius? Can't be too careful. We are sworn to protect Scythiel.
I can't tell if they're hypnotized or drunk.
We're legionnaires, of course. On the lookout for orcs, for they've been attacking from the sea. God knows why they do it, but we stand firm. We of the Legion, liberators of Rivellon.
Well, that settles it.
Liberators of liquor too, aren't we, old chum?
They're drunk.
Just pipe down, will you, Bibius? Aye, a noble word for watchdog, that. For that is what we do. Watch over the local dogs that ever so often aim for one another's throat, and separate them to keep the peace. Separate by the sword, that is.
Best way to calm a wily dog is to neuter it. Ha! Spay for pay. Legion's motto.
Just put the sock in it, will you, Bibius?
These two are funny.
Ever cat the watch? Stood on the lookout for hours on end, bored stiff. Boredom's a demon, buddy, and booze is the demon hunter. There. I do declare it's time for this hunter to take another shot. Huzzah!
Well, I don't think we need to ask them any more questions. I think we should just tell them who we are.
So, you're sorcerers, are you? And how are we supposed to verify that, Trim? We can't read, my friend. So for all we know, those papers say you're a polymorph parrot on the lookout for a two-bedroom birdcage. They don't prove a thing.
You know what? We'll take you two to the wizard. I know he reads. He has books large as a house, that one. Yeah, he'll squeeze the truth out of you, one way or another.
Okay, we have a choice. I mean, we do need to go see the wizard. The wonderful wizard. But this isn't a gold-paved road. Do I really need an escort? Especially a drunken one. I think we can find our own way to the wizard. But what do you think? 1 or 2? That's what I think.
I don't need an escort, especially not a drunken one. Back off or face me.
Oh. Well, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound.
And face me too. You two are a disgrace to your uniforms.
You defy the Legion, will you? The punishment for that offence is death.
All right then. Well, at some point in time, Nicefin needs to learn how to hit something. Oh, Bibius isn't dead? He was just knocked down? Oh. Well?
Well, there we have it. 2 dead legionnaires.
Did they deserve it, or does this feel wrong? One or two? We did gain a level up, so experience is experience. What do you think? Did we do the moral thing? I say they deserved it. They drew their swords after all.
I'm not so sure anymore. It was a wicked thing we did.
Ah. Let's level up. We've gained an ability point. Nicefin is our main fighter. Speed, strength, and constitution, I believe, are what I'm looking for. Let's go with strength for now. And our abilities here. We've got single-handed. Personality. Let's put one in bartering. Or leadership. That is an old saying that I heard many times myself. Let's go with bartering. Now Valros's speed is already pretty good, so let's go ahead and raise his intelligence this time around. And let's learn Aerothurge. That is wind magic, I believe.
Not even worth the rummaging.
All right. Let's continue on. Looks like there's a fight going on up here. Let's join the fray. Oh! That's a lot more than I expected.
Time to get your feet wet.
May the 13 win.
Well, it looks like these Legionnaires need to go back to training school too. They seem to be missing a bit.
I feel better already.
Well, at least the Legionnaires are attracting some of the attention.
Now you will know the reach of my power.
I feel better already.
Let's get him out of the way. Oh, I should have moved him sooner. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I have any more fire spells right now. Because I could have exploded that barrel if I did. I was hoping the lightning would help to slow things down a little bit. I think it helped a little. Hmm.
Stand still! Strike harder!
Let's get her in there. I would say Valros's speed is helping tremendously. He's getting quite a bit of attacks in.
Seven have mercy on your soul. Those orcs had a human commander? How very curious and disquieting.
Where are Bibius and Junius? Didn't they hear the fight?
Oh no. That Legionnaire is going to go see what I did. It is a lot of blood, isn't it?
Taken before his time. Far before his time. Oi! The Source Hunter! Nice to see these winds are blowing more than bloody orcs our way. Welcome to Sicil, comrade. And good luck. Beats me what traitorous madness came over that dog. A man among orcs. It'd be like one of your kind running with a sorcerer. Whatever the cur's incentive to raise swords alongside that murderous lot, let's all hope it was a private grudge. Can you imagine if we had to add a slew of wild-eyed, orc-loving bedlamites to our list of enemies in Sicil?
Oh my. Well, let's take our leave of this place. What's over here? Oh, a treasure chest. Oh, a ship is burning. Well, maybe they'll overlook the fact that we killed a couple of Legionnaires since we saved that ship. Ooh, we got some equipment. That's better. .6% blocking chance, but it does hinder our movement a little bit more. That's okay. And a new short sword. And how about some antique plate armor? That rain spell has come in quite handy. I think I've used it more than anything else. I think that cat just opened those gates. Let's talk to the cat.
What's all this ruckus? Sounded worse than a dozen tomcats fighting over the world's last mackerel.
Yeah, that's right. We found them. They were already like that. The orcs must have got to them first.
Ah, but I see we've suffered another orc landing. And judging by the relative ease with which it was dispatched, I can only come to one conclusion. Source hunters have arrived in Sicil. You're as welcome as a glass of cooled milk on a hot day, my friend. I'm Ahu, at your service. It was I who requested your presence in this troubled city.
Wait, I was summoned here by a cat?
So you were, and so you weren't. Behold! There we are. Meet my other half, Hunter.
Well, that's a handy trick.
Ha ha! No need to look so flabbergasted. I may be a wizard rife with tricks and guile, but I assure you my plea is an earnest one. So, now that the cat is out of the bag, let us turn to the matter of Councillor Jake's murder.
Well, please tell me more about this murder.
It's hard to put my finger on it, but I can feel in my very whiskers that sorcery was at play. Visit the scene of the crime, and I'd bet sardines for salad you'll say the same.
I don't know about you, but I don't really care for sardines on my salad.
Captain Aureus, though, the local commander of the Legion, insists I'm seeing ghosts. I insist he's blind to all but the undead.
Well, where can I find this scene of this crime?
Jake was murdered in a downstairs room of the King Crab Inn, up in Sicil proper. The Legion keeps it under lock and key, though, so you'll need Aureus's permission should you want to have a peek.
Well, a counselor has been murdered, so I assume there are suspects?
So there are, or rather, there is. Popular opinion has it his wife did the deed, but to be frank, I have my doubts.
Nope. Case is solved. It was the wife.
She seems a likely candidate, to be sure, but that would make her a sorceress. Esmeralda knows how to charm, yes, but I just don't see her magic extend beyond a frolicsome look and wink. Still, don't simply take my word for it, Hunter. It may be well worth your while to cross-examine her yourself. The Legion has her under guard in her shop near the town square. That's where you'll find poor Jake's widow.
Well, there's something else I'd like to discuss. It may interest you to know that the orcs we took care of were led by a human.
A human, you say? Truly? But that would be like a kitten leading a wolf pack. And yet, I have heard rumors about a sect of sorts, a shadowy set of worshippers that associate even with orcs. Some say they're sorcerers, but people will say that about anyone who behaves a bit strangely nowadays. I don't quite know what to make of this news, but thank you for informing me. It'd be foolish to dismiss such a curious event out of hand.
Well, what exactly is the trouble you're having with the undead? I believe you mentioned something about that as well.
Ah, the undead. They've been clawing their way out of the ground for 2 years now. And for 2 years, the stalemate between them and the living has been dragging on at a weary pace indeed. The Legion did a good job keeping them at bay, but I think it's fair to say that without my magic-infused ballistae, they'd have gotten the better of us by now.
I am with you, Alexandria. I am calling it right now. The wife is the culprit.
Someone is responsible for the outbreak. Necromancers are at work, but who are they and where do they hide? Alas, that searching for them is like searching for a single louse in a lion's mane.
Well, from what I've seen and heard, this isn't the first time you've had problems with marauding orcs.
Unfortunately, that is absolutely correct. The orc siege is yet another hairball stuck in this city's already choking throat, and it shows no signs of abating. We've cordoned off the western beach where most orc activity has been reported. For the 9 lives of me, I can't seem to figure what they're doing here. There's nothing of interest along the waterfront, except for a set of caves with an unfavorable reputation. Maybe they're after some pirate's treasure, the fools.
I don't know. What do they call a cat that transforms into a person? I would love to hear more about this trick of yours.
Oh, but that's not a trick. It's a blessing. Or does it surprise you that I enjoy taking a feline guise? Such magic is a gift, Hunter. To tread upon the realm of instinct. Even articulate speech, perhaps humanity's greatest asset, cannot give expression to something so inextricably innate. To be out in the night, to stalk on silent paws and hunt with only the moon as your witness. You couldn't possibly imagine the thrill. But of course, it's handy to speak in more than meows. And I couldn't brew potions or make machines without opposable thumbs. This I freely admit. Let's just say I have found a way to enjoy the best of 2 worlds.
Very well. I think we have reached all the information that he can give us, so let's just take our leave.
I'm glad we've met, Source Hunter. And I'm certain we have a lot more to talk about. Feel free to visit me whenever you want. I've set up a workshop in the Legion's headquarters. Once you're there, just take the stairs. But do pay a visit to Aureus first. He may bark like a beagle with its tail stuck in the door, but you won't get very far in your investigation without speaking to the de facto leader of Sicily. And with that, I bid you adieu, Hunter. Adieu and good luck. May your enemies prove to be mere mice, and you the dauntless mouser.
Sorcery, sects, undead, orcs. Looks like we have our work cut out for us.
At least we won't be bored. How about we go see that Aureus chap Arthur mentioned?
Oh my. So many problems. And yes, those caves do sound very interesting.
Good on you. These boss men respect company. So what did he say?
Well, what does it matter?
Day labour's more suited to my nature anyway.
Yes, honest pay for an honest day.
Alright, I don't think we want to steal stuff right now. You know, let's go see if we can get a reward for that ship that we put out.
I don't know how you did that, hocus pocus, but boy, am I grateful. Nothing worse than seeing a fine vessel like that disappear beneath the waves. I thought the old gal's fate was sealed when the Ark shaman set his fiery gaze on her sails. But you managed to rescue her from a watery grave. Closest thing to a miracle I've ever seen.
Well, you know, a little coin would have thanked me very well.
Our home, our livelihood, all sunk in a matter of minutes, while we could do naught but look on. Well, we were merchants what seems like a moment ago. With our ship sunk, we're little more than free men with nothing more to say than boom.
Well, what happened here?
These bleeding orcs. I can't keep off this place for the life of them. They came in here, slinging fireballs and swinging swords. There wasn't a thing we could do to defend ourselves.
Well, how about that burning ship?
That was a right stunning show of magic you pulled, it was. Wish you'd been around when our own barge went down in flames.
What about finding work?
With our ship gone, nothing for it but to get a job. Slim pickings around here, that's for sure. Maybe you could keep an eye out, though.
Well, I think I'll take my leave. So much to do. But that's good. It means we won't be bored. Oh, another waypoint. So that's fast travel.
Steady, boys, steady. We'll be leaving as soon as we're packed up.
Let's see. Let's go on into the city. See if we can find a merchant and unload some of this junk in our inventory.
Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I, borrowed one of these fish, would you?
Borrow indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear.
This is going to be interesting. Well, tell me about yourself.
Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough, before these lean times around Sicil began. Still, that doesn't waive a man's need to eat, you know.
Well, are you in the habit of stealing?
I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times. But what choice have I got now? If it's steal or starve, I'll choose steal.
Well, this is going to be interesting.
So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
I mean, the merchant has to eat too, so we need to leave the fish alone. Or, everyone needs a hand now and then, so take the fish, and none but us will be the wiser. But it seems like you could just get a fishing rod and fish for a fish. What do we think, chat? 1 or 2? They have a really good ambience in here as well. It could very well be a trap. The merchant does have to eat as well.
That merchant has to eat too, you know. Leave the fish alone.
That's what I was saying earlier. You give a man a fish and he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish and he feeds himself for life.
Yes, you know what they say about giving a man a fish? This man should learn to stand on his own 2 feet.
I suppose you've got a point. Another day, another rumbling belly. Morals never fed a hungry man, you know.
That thief is free for now, but I wonder how long it'll be until his growling belly seduces him back onto the crooked path.
Well, what did you think of that fish thief?
Thank you for making that would-be thief see reason. I only hope your instruction lasts. The last thing the plagued people of Sicil need is a thief among them.
Well, I'll take my leave. So that gave us righteous. If you have the righteous trait, leadership is increased by 1. All right. And as we see now, we have a new ability, Leadership Insight. So our initiative is +5 and our damage is +5.
away before you've tried some of the ocean's finest bounty. How many crab claws would you like? 3? 11?
I gave Nicefin bartering, didn't I? Okay. We'll sell that stuff. Don't think we need a broom. Don't know why we have a pair of underwear in our inventory. I don't remember picking that up. Well, I don't know. We have items in our inventory like this raw meat. We have a cooking pot for cooking, and we have a mackerel. So I know there's crafting. I think we'll hold on to all what we have so far until we progress a little bit further and maybe see how to craft. Looks like we have just a bunch of merchants down here in this area. Is this our... Oh, no, this is the mayor's office. Well...
What? Oh, it's you. Come closer then. Closer, huh? My ears aren't what they used to be. Nor my eyes, for that matter. Yes, hello, Source Hunter. Our city welcomes you.
Well, tell me about yourself.
My elf? What elf? Oh, myself. I am Cecil, Mayor of Cyseal, and husband of the stately Cecilia. I've been the mayor here for decades, and I'm quite eager to see Cyseal through these difficult times. Yes, very difficult times indeed.
Well, tell me about the issues in Cyseal.
What?
Apparently he's hard of hearing.
Oh, you mean Cyseal? Very difficult times indeed. As though the death of Jacon by source magic no less weren't enough. We're also facing all sorts of brutish intruders. The undead have overrun all but one northern trade route, while the orcs are making a habit of savaging our beaches. That That's not to mention that at the top of this whole caboodle, there's rumors of some new religious sect or cult or some such, sticking its tendrils into the innocent, seven-fearing folks of Sicil.
I'm not much for fish either.
And, while we're on the subject of troubles, I myself have a private matter I'd like to bring to your attention. It involves a magic relic I rather foolishly sought. A weapon called the Staff of Pergamon.
Wait a minute. A staff of Pergamon? What is this about a staff?
What now? Oh, you're speaking gibberish.
You literally just told me this.
Ah, you mean the Staff of Pergamon? Yes, yes. I was expecting a shipment of weapons, and among the cargo was this very powerful, very rare staff. I managed to place the order through means somewhat, atypical to a government official. Cecil proved an old fool, though. For the merchant slated to deliver it to me has just informed me that the damn thing has gone missing. I fear it may have fallen into the wrong hands, and I wonder if you could retrieve it for me.
Oh my. Well, tell me about this merchant.
His name is Conrad, captain of the Tide Splitter, a merchant ship still docked at the Sicil harbor. You can talk to him if you think it'd help, but I'd quite like to avoid getting the Legion involved, if you don't mind.
Well, what do you know about this staff itself?
The staff itself contains a shard of an ore, highly valued for its use in the weapons of war. I know use of the material to be forbidden, but I was desperate to do something to aid the townsfolk against the undead.
Well, I guess we'll have to go talk to this merchant at the docks to see if we can find out more about this staff. But tell me about Jake's murder.
Jake murdered? Oh, yes. Yes, now I recall. Indeed. I could hardly believe it myself. The Council and I have certainly had our differences over the years, but old squabbles evaporate under such circumstances. Most of the townsfolk are certain Jake's wife Esmeralda is responsible. In fact, the Legion have taken her into protective custody to keep her safe from the mob. As you can imagine, I've known Esmeralda for years. That business between her and the Duke of Ferrol was always a bit suggestive. But I've never had cause to suspect her of violence. Still, one never knows for sure.
Duke of Ferrol? Why, the plot thickens. Was this a simple love triangle? Why don't you tell me about this Duke?
An all-right bloke, apart from all this Esmeralda nonsense. The whole town knows the only goal of his business trips to Sicil is to spend a night or two at the King Crab Inn with Mrs. Counselor.
So everyone knew he was having an affair with Jake's wife. So my question is this. Why am I here? It seems the subject of the murder investigation is the wife. Cut and dry. Well, why don't you tell me about the undead?
What? The undead? Yes, for the past 2 years, those blasted skeletons have all but suffocated this city. With all but one trade route overrun, Sicil's once torrential commerce has slowed to a pathetic trickle.
Well, why don't you tell me more about these sects that you're talking about?
Well, I do believe that's something your parents ought to have discussed with you long ago, Source Hunter. But I suppose if you really don't know, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least explain the basics.
You have just become my favorite character in this game.
You see, when a lady and a fellow find each other rather nice, well, rather more than nice, they occasionally, well, they... Oh, this is nonsense. I'm the mayor for the 7th sake. I can't be bothered to chat all day about the birds and the bees when Sicil's under siege by orcs, undead, and cultists.
Okay, let's talk about this library.
That depends. What kind of berries are you interested in, exactly?
Somebody needs to get this guy a hearing aid.
Ah, the library. Yes, yes, you must have a visit. It's the gem of Sicil. Would you like to have a look? I'll escort you upstairs myself.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Marvelous. Follow me then. What? Oh, yes. This library is the jewel in Sicil's crown. The beacon of culture and learning in our fair city. My Victoria has every volume you could possibly imagine, and she's got every speck of information about this place packed into her brilliant brain. Yes, Victoria's come a long way from that little bundle of claws and teeth I adopted so long ago. Ah, it brings a tear to my eye just seeing her here among her beloved books.
That seems odd.
What? Oh, yes, yes. I'll be on my way back downstairs now. Please introduce yourself. I know Victoria will be happy to make your acquaintance.
Nonsense. The Pseudo-Monarchia Daemonum. And the first edition, too. Most promising.
Who's this? Jahan?
Omnes autem mali daemonis quam.
The night and see-through armor.
What? What is this? Who are you to interrupt my musings? By Naga the Protector, they have the manners of boors, these boatmen of Sicil. Oh, but perhaps I spoke too soon. Perhaps I was mistaken, for you hardly resemble the local fisherfolk, which, incidentally, is a compliment of copious dimensions indeed.
Well, I enjoy this guy.
No. A source hunter. That is what you are. Yes, a stalker of sorcery. A chaser of charms pernicious. In truth, I cannot go so far as to say it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, for I take no pleasure in the company of man. But it may just be to our mutual advantage to join forces nonetheless.
Ooh, a new companion, perhaps. Why would you want to join forces?
Why, simply because you hunt source, and I, Jehan, hunt demons. You are aware, of course, that quite often both of these pests frequent the same shadowy pools of infamy. Now, I hate what I hunt, but I respect its cunning. Should I not, I'd have been decimated, body and soul, long since. This is a sentiment I'm quite certain you must recognize. Let there be strength in cunning, yes, but also in numbers. The calculus of wizardry I offer you, the might of the magician's mastermind.
Yes, I'm hoping that we will meet Victoria soon as well.
On one condition, that on our joint travels we will never deal with demonic entities, no matter how tempting their propositions. Give me your word on this, and I'll weave you spells.
Well, I don't see that being a problem. I have no intention of dealing with demonic entities. So we will accept that offer.
Very well. There will be no deals with demons.
And I agree.
Agreed. Nothing good ever came from bargaining with those devils anyway.
Most gratifying. I see you are firm of purpose and thereby ready to descend. Descend into the madness that is sorcery, into the depths where demons dance. Gladly shall I follow you into the abyss. Onward, blood and triumph await.
Well, you know what they say. If you stare into the abyss too long, the abyss stares back. Well now, who is this? It looks like an orc.
In the name of Amun-Hor, I bid thee Tujda Getahal. Be welcome, human. My library is yours, as I hope your friendship is mine.
Well, it looks like we've found Victoria. That was unexpected. So who are you, madam?
I am Victoria, daughter of Mayor Cecil. Oh, I know what you're thinking. The likeness isn't exactly striking, is it? When I was very young, you see, I must have been cast out by my tribe, for I was found in a wicker basket floating past Sicil toward the sea. The fisherman who found me would have drowned me on the spot, for I am an orc after all. But praise be Amun-Hor, dear Cecil was among the gathered crowd, and he took pity on the exiled infant that chance had put in his way. He raised me like I was his own, this kindest of souls, taught me the language of men, their customs and their letters. Thus, I became the city's librarian, a position I uphold with no small diligence and pride.
Well, may I take books from this library?
Indeed you may. The wisdom I here hold is yours to peruse and even take with you. All I can ask is that you return the books you borrow so that others may enjoy them too.
Well.
A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Felleron will have to pay yet another fine. A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Felleron will have to pay yet another fine.
Philosophy of Death.
Volume 1, Volume 2. But where's the third one gone? Shucks. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night.
I don't know about... I don't think we need any of these books for now. We can always come back to them. Key to Cecil's living quarters. Oh. He must have dropped that. Oh well. While we're here, we wanted to talk to him about those sailors on the dock that had no jobs.
What? Oh, it's you! What news?
So, do you have any work for a trio of sailors?
No, no. All my clothes are in fine condition, thanks. I've been going to the same tailor for years.
Okay. You were not helpful at all. So I'll take my leave. That certainly is a nice copy of Moses' story, is it not? You know what? While we're here, we did pick up a new companion, so let's see what he can do. Looks like he is a full-on mage. Quarterstaff. Let's see what spells he has. Blitzbolt. Some electricity. We can launch a magical missile from our staff. The better his staff, the better this damage. So I'm assuming that means we can upgrade the staff. Teleportation. Shocking touch. Bitter cold freezes a target. He also has the rain spell. And another healer. And you make a good point. Perhaps there are some spell books. Let's go back into the library and pick up those books. He who smelts it. Cracking up a crowd, the definitive guide. And a pirate's life. Fun with fluids. Ooh, Fun with Fluids Volume 2.
Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels?
The Adventurer's Field Guide. Cecil's Genesis, a play.
Sigurd's beard, what a find.
Adventurer's Guide. Okay, let's see what these books have to offer. He Who Smelts It, Volume 1. He Who Smelts It. The quality of proper sword has quite declined in recent decades. I myself craft my own supplies from an iron bar and an anvil to ensure the maximum character of the weapon. Oh, homemade sword. You were right, Alexandria. That did teach us a recipe. So let's do Fun with Fluids, Volume 2.
Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night.
Combining mushroom-based potions has similar effects. Okay. Fire resistance potion. Oh. What's this then? A small bones wandering about without its mama. Come back when you bring someone worth talking to. That's odd. I don't know what that was all about. Okay. We read that one. Any old kitchen knife can be carved into a dagger after the right amount of time on my anvil. Homemade dagger. Oh, okay. And improved metal shield. And this appears to be a play. A new recipe for wood chips.
Hey, stop that!
Whoop. I accidentally tried to pick up that key. Poison resistance potion. Cracking up the crowd. Finest funnies. During a dwarven funeral, the bearers of the casket accidentally bump into a wall and hear a faint moan. They open the casket and find out that the dwarven woman inside is actually alive. The entire funeral party rejoices, and a joyful tear springs into her husband's eye. The dwarven lady lives for 10 more years and then dies. There's another funeral for her. At the end of the service, the bearers carry out the casket. As they are walking out, the husband cries out, "Watch out for the wall!" I guess he doesn't want her to live for another 10 years. Oh, that's an awful joke. Let's see. We could give him this firebell scroll. We'll send that to Jahan. More recipes. Okay, let's put this in his inventory there. Okay. Well, you know, she did say to return them, didn't she?
Volume 1, Volume 2. But where's the third one gone? Shamsor. Sometimes I think these books scrap little legs in the night.
We don't want to get on her bad side. Last thing we need is an orc coming after us, right?
Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she?
Let's go to the dock and talk to that merchant about that staff. Because I bet Jahan wouldn't mind a new staff. Do I remember where the docks are? Yes. I wonder how many other companions we will meet. We have a pretty good rounded party at this point in time. We have a warrior, a cleric, and a mage. We could use a rogue. We're picking up a lot of different types of arrows, so a ranger would be nice. Oh, there is Conrad.
Ahoy, sailor! Are you enjoying the fresh winds of Sicily?
Well, tell me about yourself.
Name's Conrad, cargo trader, sea captain, an expert in all things nautical. Folks across Andervale know to give old Conrad a holler when it comes to rare imports and magical items.
Well, then you're just the man I need to talk to about the Staff of Pergamon.
Aye, that Cecil's worse than a rooster, crowing all around town about matters he ought to know are better kept quiet. Well, if you know about the staff, I suppose you also know it's gone without a trace. For my part, I haven't a clue where it could have gone. Overboard, stolen, or vanished into thin air. Though I'm quite eager to see it return. I've got a reputation to uphold, you know. Wouldn't hurt to ask some of my men. I tried myself, but sailors tend to be a bit tight-lipped when they're afraid of getting one another in some trouble. Seaman's code, you know. Not to rat out a fellow sailor.
Okay. So let's talk to some of these other sailors, I guess. Pablo?
Hello there. Welcome to Sicily.
Oh, we already spoke to Pablo. What about you, Marv?
Sauce? Here in Sicily? Damn. Of all that cursed hunks of rock to land, Conrad chooses this.
Well, what do you know about the Staff of Pergamon?
Now you mention it, I noticed Dietmar, a fellow merchant travelling with us, carrying a sealed box off the ship during the attack. At the time, I figured he was just escaping with his personal effects. But it could well have been that staff you're talking about.
Okay, well, what do you know about this Datamar?
Well, sure, I saw him slip off the ship, but I haven't a clue where he could possibly be now. Captain Conrad's the man to ask for such matters.
Okay, well, you were less than helpful, so I'll take my leave. All right, Conrad.
About the whereabouts of the magic stick yet?
Yes, one of your men saw Datamar make off with a package.
What? That weasel has it for sure. But I'll tell you this. I didn't speak of that stuff to a soul on board. If he's the one who took it, he must have known it was on the ship before stepping foot on her decks. I'm sure he'll make a run for it, probably by boat. I'd look for him on an out-of-sight beach somewhere. He's probably there now, trying to launch a vessel in private, if he hasn't already escaped.
Well, that was not very helpful, so I guess I'll take my leave. Let's see. These are all of our quests. This one we've done.
Yes, sir. As fine a specimen as one of her stock, sir. Passing a love note to the Lizard Council's ward. Speaking of youthful girl, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
Well, let's see if we can find anything on this boat. Is there any way to get in here? Doesn't look like we can go up here. Okay. So there's nothing on the boat. Let's see. What do we got here? Looks like we've got things on our map. Strange cave, crime scene, Esmeralda, and the Legion's headquarters. I think we should go to the Legion's headquarters and at least meet Captain Arius, and I think that will be a good spot to stop. After we meet Captain Arius. That's kind of what I'm thinking, is it could be towards that cave marker. So let's talk to this Arius and see if we can get permission to wonder about the city. I do very much enjoy the graphics on this. They are very nice. And the ambience beds have all been spot on.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any
What's this?
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be just... Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
Why, this is a curious situation you've got here. Is the woman in this cage under arrest?
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city walls. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at me.
I will definitely write down this quarry and give it a look.
Right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
Well, and what will become of this admittedly stranger? Oh, look, I just noticed her profile picture. Look at that. Look at, oh, she took a right glorious chunk out of her, didn't she?
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we?
Perhaps it'd be worth taking this stranger under our wing. She'll likely come in handy if we can trust her to watch our backs. But then again, we're here to hunt source, not play babysitter. Sorry, but we can't take responsibility for a stranger.
Sorry, sir.
What do we think, chat? It does sound like she was hunting with a bow. We could potentially use a ranger.
Sorry, sir.
One or two.
Perhaps it'd be worth taking this stranger under our wing. She'll likely come in handy if we can trust her to watch our backs.
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for our investigation.
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for our investigation.
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after all, Cull.
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
Well, hello.
Sorry, sir.
It's nice to meet you,
Source
Bardotur.
Hunter. I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In home forests, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
There is little world more variable than the minds of men. It is the source of great beauty and much despair, and all of it uniquely human. Or, yes, as you've noticed, we are unpredictable species, as likely to kill as to heal. It's best to be wary of those you meet for this very reason. This is going to be another one of those options that probably gives us a trait. So what do we think, chat? 1 or 2?
Sorry, sir.
And for Valros, we take each in stride and prepare for either. You'll find your fellows surprise you for better and for worse in equal parts. Or, uniquely human, I wouldn't go so far. The savagery of humans is no better than that of the basest of beasts. So what is our trait going to become, chat? 1 or 2?
Sorry, sir.
Those folks that embarrass a breach pro get a shining recruit.
Sorry, sir. It is strange to stand with one foot in the forest and the other in the city, Source Hunter. I'm glad that now I have you standing beside me, even if one burns hot while the other wheezes cold. Perhaps in time I will come to know my own kind as you have, and perhaps then I will decide for myself whether ours is a noble kind.
You think that's funny, Private? Sir, no, sir.
Okay. Let's see, what did that do for us? So Nicefin is pragmatic, which increases her crafting by 1. Independent, which increases her willpower by 1. Altruistic, which increases her reputation by 2. Compassionate, which gives her a critical chance, increased by 3%. And is righteous, which gives her leadership plus 1. Valros is now pragmatic as well, also independent and altruistic. However, he is more heartless. So he has a chance to hit bonus of 20% when backstabbing. And he is also righteous. Now, let's give all of these arrows to our archer.
Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, sir.
There we go. Now, we could put some different arrows into her inventory. There we go. Oh, she needs a bow. Did they take her weapons? And I sold the bow that I had. Oh, there it is. Ha! There we go.
Sorry, sir.
All right. Now we're at the Legion headquarters. We will go ahead and meet this captain. And after that, we will probably call it a day.
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Scythial, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs. You hear?
Well, you're pleasant. Let's tell me about yourself.
I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Scythial. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead.
for I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers and turn them into drivelling hordes of their own misshapen number.
Very well, let's discuss Jake's murder. That is why I'm here.
Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother. But he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town, not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover something out of the ordinary. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you!
Well, in regards to Jake's wife, Esmeralda.
Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. The Legion relies on reason, see? Not idle superstition.
I'll take my leave. I don't know. Do we really think he can be objective? Wow. Well, that is going to do it for tonight.
Sorry, sir.
I am so glad that you've all taken the time to join me on this walk and this journey. What do you think of this game? Is it one that you would enjoy, or have you enjoyed it? So far, I'm pretty excited about the prospects. You know, I'm wondering how far down that rabbit hole we're going to get with Esmeralda. I suspect she may have a few different people that she enjoys. Perhaps we will uncover that next time. So thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate you taking the time and helping me to craft the characters and forge their path. And I do hope you will join me again next time when we return to Divinity, Original Sin. Have a blessed day.
Sorry, sir.